In the 13th century and before, people knew very little about the world outside their own countries. The little that they did know of, they had heard from the occasional traveler that passed through. Although Europe and Asia had been neighbors for a long time, the people were not aware of how others looked, what clothes they wore, what language they spoke, or even what their land was like. Europeans had seen the beautiful ceramics, jewels, and silks that made their way to them from the Far East, and they had heard about the fabled Silk Road, but no one actually attempted to go there. It would take someone with a lot of courage to cross the high mountains, treacherous seas, and endless desert that separated them. Now let's turn the attention to my famous person, Marco Polo. He was born around 1254 into a rich merchant family. He grew up never seeing his father or his uncle as they were on a trip in Asia. At age 15, Marco's father and uncle finally returned from their trip and saw Marco for the first time. At age 17, they took Marco on another one of their Asian journeys. At the time, Kublai Khan, who was emperor, stretched from the Middle East to the Pacific Ocean, ruled China. This empire was considered enormous beyond belief. The great Khan appointed Marco the position of special envoy. This position let Marco travel to the far corners of Asia, many of them places Europeans had never seen before. Throughout the years, Marco was promoted to several more important positions. Overall, he was impressed with the Chinese Empire's many innovations, especially a great palace named Xanadu, which is now Beijing. In the 1290s, Venice and Genoa fought. 3 years after returning to Venice, Marco became commander of a Venetian warship in the war. Sadly, he was captured and put in a jail. In the jail, he met Rustichello, a romance writer. He told all his adventures to Rustichello and was later freed in 1299. The book, Description of the World, was released and published by Rustichello after he was released from prison. Today, it is known as The Travels of Marco Polo. Many readers question Polo's truth, possibly leading to the book's popular Italian title, Il Milione, short for The Million Lies. People told him to admit the book was fiction, but he said, "I have not told half of what I saw." Marco Polo died on January 8, 1324, in Venice, Italy. I will pick one interview question for example. What word of advice do you have for children in 5th grade to achieve their dreams? I tell them to achieve their dreams by believing in themselves. Their goal may come true depending on how much effort they put in to get it. The future is in their hands. This is my I Am poem, my couplet poem, my horrible drawing, and my accomplishments and achievements. The Marco Polo book is one of the most influential books of the Middle Ages. It is called The Travels of Marco Polo. Plenty of information about the Asian civilization that recorded all the things he has seen. It included information on the many different aspects of Asia. Most people did not believe the stories to be true. True or not, the book was viewed as an important account of the world outside of Europe. The famous book about Marco Polo's journey, The Travels of Marco Polo, was penned in prison and was only published afterwards. Marco Polo wasn't the first European to travel to Asia. Many people believe Marco's stories are lies, and some modern historians still do. Marco Polo was a major influence on other explorers, including Christopher Columbus. I think that Marco Polo was a great choice for my famous person report. The Travels of Marco Polo was the first book that described to Europeans the wealth and great size of China, its capital, Beijing, and other Asian cities and countries. He had many adventures, traveled on the ancient Silk Road, and won the favor of the Chinese emperor at the time, Kublai Khan. I admired him so much that I followed his route on the Silk Road. There's just one difference. I rode on an airplane. Thank you.